Very cool. Now we're going to share. So welcome everybody. It is May 26th, the last Wednesday of May. I can't even believe this because you guys wasn't it just like New Year's not that long ago, and now it's May. So good deal. Tonight we just did our icebreaker, so we're gonna scroll down. Oh gosh, there we go. What the hell? Okay, just kidding. I need to bring up my, that's what's going on. I went into the icebreakers on the computer and not my notes. So I'm like, why is this lady up on the screen? Okay, so how would you feel if you got a phone call from your grocery store thanking you for your purchase? That would kind of be a little weird. First of all, like, why are you calling my house? Grocery store. But I think it's pretty cool. We're going to talk about follow-up tonight, and what is so important in our business is we've made a connection with anybody, whether we've exchanged a text message, an email, a like, or a share. Anytime that they have made some type of connection, you want to reciprocate that. And again, it's about building relationships. We are a relationship business. So that's super, super important. And it's not always the easiest, even for myself, to think, oh my gosh, what can I be doing in my business right now? So these are some great ideas on how to follow up. So what is the next slide? Nope, not that yet. Okay, so you feel pretty special, right? I'd like to invite you to look at following up with your connections and customers the same way, rather than feeling as though you're being pushy or annoying. You're taking the time to make someone feel special. Follow-up is your opportunity to build relationships, gain trust, and provide excellent customer service, which leads to new bookings, new sales, and new consultants. So again, keeping in contact with your customers and your friends, whether it's on a personal level or a business level, you're almost playing like tennis. So, you hit the ball over to their court, wait for them to respond, and you keep this conversation going. It was something that was not always the easiest thing for me. So I love going over follow-up again. So we're going to be talking about building the relationships, gaining trust, providing excellent customer service, getting new bookings, and new consultants. So we're going to talk about the 2-2-2 to make follow-up simple. It is a systematic approach, and it's going to consist of 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months after meeting someone and having a connection, or someone makes a purchase. This consistent contact is a great way to provide your customers with excellent customer care while focusing on their needs and truly coming from a place of service. And there are a ton of different ways that you can follow up, okay? So I personally love sending a handwritten note. It is probably one of my most favorite forms of communication, because it doesn't happen often, but getting a nice note in the mail it's really kind of cool, because all we really get are bills. So sending out that little thank you note, it does have a huge impact. You can text or direct message. It is quick and convenient. 95% of texts are read within 3 minutes, and then customers can respond swiftly, or you can pick up the phone and call. It's sometimes hard for me to believe and remember that, yes, this cell phone here does actually have voice conversations. 9 times out of 10, it's all via like some type of text message, but picking up the phone is really, really important. Okay, so let's see, we're going to go here and then here. So handwritten note. Okay, so the 2-day thank you. This is something that I've worked on a lot over the years, is 2 days after meeting someone, if they've made a purchase with me or even joining the team, I try my best to send out, notes and messages and that kind of stuff. It doesn't always happen within those 2 days, but especially with customers, I use a text message software program. So I'll come in, and when I'm inputting all my information, I'm not saying that you guys need to do this by any means anytime soon, but it is available. and it sends out like mass text messages and stuff, and follow-up campaigns. But anyways, having an attitude of gratitude. So believe it or not, they actually do want to hear from us. It is kind of cool to just say, hey, a lot of times I try, and if I'm at a party, I'll write down something that we talked about. So it helps me remember who they are. Because over the years, you're going to meet so many people, and just taking a note, like Betty just worked her vendor event. I would make a mental note of where those girls came from. And if they made a purchase, I would also, thank you so much for making the blah, blah, blah boutique fantastic or a success or whatever. I really appreciate your support, that kind of stuff. So being too salesy can be a major turnoff. That is really, really, really important. In social media, your business posts should not be more than 1 every 7 posts. So being really cautious when you are promoting on social media or reaching out to people too directly. It doesn't always have to be about business. Although I'll tell you, if you want to have my most comfortable subject, of course, it's going to be about our business or sex or something of that nature. So, you definitely want to be mindful with the way that you're promoting your business, and not just always buy my shit, join my team, so forth and so on. And always try to make sure to capture that person's name. It's really easy to just say, hey, if you meet someone and you're talking to them and you talk about your business, hey, would you mind if I shot you a text message and you can reply with your information? I'd love to send a couple of samples to you in the mail. Now you have their cell phone number. So now you can follow up with them, see if they found their specific whatever they were looking for or anything of that nature. And you can always forward them a catalog too once you have their text message. And then again, personalize whenever possible. I try my best. I'm not always the best at it because, oh my gosh, I can barely remember what's going on in my life. But we're getting better because kids are going back to school. So you can personalize and relate back. You can talk to your hostess and you can say something along the lines of, your friends were so much fun. I'm never going to look at a cupcake the same way again. And legit, I have seen some amazing cupcakes. Turtles, I will never look at a turtle again the same after a party I had a couple weeks ago. Customers, you can always ask for feedback. You met someone at the grocery store. Hey, how did your casserole turn out? I was buying something for my Instapot. They didn't have all the ingredients, which I'm really sad over. Just thought I would share that with you. But the girl behind the counter was like, hey, can I have that recipe? I should have said, yeah, let me have your cell phone number and I'll text it to you along with an introduction to my business. So something along that line. And then new VIP group members. You can see every week who is a new member in your Facebook group or any of your party groups, anything like that. So it's always nice to check every couple of days to welcome them in. Yes, feel free. I will tell you though, going back to this new VIP group member, I make sure in my VIP groups that I have to approve all comments, not all comments, but all posts that come in, because I've had sometimes like we're in Halloween season and girls will start posting like the same funny meme 4 times. And I'm like, okay, guys, that was posted yesterday, but thank you for thinking of me. So I try and approve stuff that comes in as well. So a thank you note template. So this is something you can use and you're welcome to write these down for what, templates of thanking you for your purchase. I do send a card to every single person that I have their address from a party. I try and do it as much as possible. If I have their address, they're probably going to get something from me in the mail at least once. And you can use couple few things. If they booked a party with you, I look forward to seeing you on X, Y, and Z. You can always drop a couple of foil packs into them as well. If you have booked a party and send with their thank you note, that's always really fun, especially if they haven't tried a product. Now you have something to talk about with them and follow up and say, hey, Brandy, did you get a chance to, sample that Chafe Escape I sent you? Or, hey, Bree, I know you were having a little bit of a dryness issue. Did that just like me work out? You probably don't want to be that blunt, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, did you give our lubrication a little bit of a try? Did it work out for you? Are you enjoying something? So, just reach out to people. There's nothing wrong with following up. And especially if you're like, hey, I just want to see how you're liking your goodies. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so next connection in 2 weeks is super, super, super important, because if they have not tried their goodies, you want to like gently nudge them to try them. Like, you're not going to come back to me and buy more stuff. And I'm just going to be frank. If you haven't even opened your bag and used your shaving cream or your body dew or your body boost, I want to make sure that they're using it correctly. Do you have any questions? Again, I want you to think of your business. The more you provide that amazing customer support, and it literally can be like 15 minutes one time a week that you go through and just send out some text messages, or sending a little note in the mail. It doesn't have to be super time consuming. Maybe while you're watching a TV show, you can send out some text messages if you still get commercials. Again, you want to come from a place of service. A phone call is a great way. If you're not terrified of that 500-pound phone, you are more than welcome to pick it up. But also, when you're using the phone, always smile when you're talking. When you have a smile on your face, it just lightens up your voice. So I try as much as possible. If I'm in a funk, I'm not going to make customer service calls, which is why I don't do well in customer service department anymore, because life has been a little funky lately. But always try and keep a smile on your face. And whatever you have to think about to put that smile on your face, because that's why you're here, you're working your business, so you can add something as a bonus to your life as well. Don't scowl and scrunch up your face. It says, so funny. It says, get your mad look on, and with the happiest voice you can muster, as you're grimacing, say, I love making money. So again, if you're struggling and you're like, oh my gosh, it feels more like a chore than it is like having fun, remember, this is a business. While we did, join to have fun and educate and that stuff, we still have to sit down and do like the boring work too, but that just puts us one step closer to our goal. Keep it brief. And you always want to be respectful of other people's time. So you can always keep the conversation short. And I always like to say, hey, do you have a couple minutes to chat if I'm going to pick up the phone? So always ask for permission to have a conversation and take notes. You guys, oh my gosh, is this here? Oh yes, smile, scowl. I love making money. That's so silly. Take notes so you can refer back to something that was discussed the next time you follow up. I have the worst memory, you guys. So if I don't write it down, it's like out. And it is proven that if you do take handwritten notes, it tends to stick. And the next time you go over it, it's like there, it's embedded in your brain. And I'm getting there. So I need to embed all that I can, or be in bed, whichever. And then ask for permission to keep in touch. This holds you accountable and gives you the confidence to follow up. So that's super important. Again, you just have to, I'll be honest with you, you just have to do it. The fortune is in the follow-up. And I'll tell you, with everybody that's on this call tonight, had your mentor or the person who brought you into the business or your hostess or whoever introduced you to Pure Romance, had they not followed up with you, you would not be here on this team. You even got to follow up group text message or whatever, that this was starting. So it's just a good practice to follow up. Okay, so you're going to want to create a service connection template. So this is kind of cool. So you can say, hey, Marlies, it's Kay with Pure Romance. I wanted to check in and see how you were loving your products, what you thought about the sample information I sent you, if you had any topics you'd like to learn more about in our VIP group. So you can like take these suggested conversations and make them your own, because some of these things I would never say. I have also started taking the introduction and I'm like, hey, Betty, it's Kay, your passion professor. So I've started removing Pure Romance from a lot of my conversations only because I want to promote our team and not necessarily Pure Romance. The more that you brand yourself, the better it's going to be and the more memorable that you're going to be for them to come back to you and not just Pure Romance. And then you can ask for permission. Yes, is it okay if I check back with you in a couple of months to see how you're doing? And if there's anything new and exciting, would that be okay with you? So that's important to always ask for that permission. Again, you're extending a courtesy to them. And I have had plenty of people like unsubscribe to my newsletters or ask me to stop contacting them. And you know what? That's totally okay. It's okay. You're in business, so they're just not interested, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that they hate you, that they're going to run you over in a car if they see you walking down the street or whatever. They're just not interested, and that's all it is. So don't take shit so personal. And again, you're coming from a place of service, so you're building that relationship and enhancing the overall experience. So I did something very similar for many years with passion parties. And we did a 3-3-3. So it was 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. This is a 2-2-2. It's the same concept. 2 days after the party or connection, you should follow up 2 weeks. Hey, did you have any questions about the samples that I sent you? How are you enjoying your goodies? Do you have any questions? Did you even pull the bag out of, the trunk of your car yet? Whatever. And then 2 months to touch base. So what's awesome about the 2 months is you can check back in with them and say, hey, I really hope you had a chance to try those goodies. Or I remember, if you know that they have children, you can say, are your children enrolled in summer school? How's your summer going? That's always a really easy one, is I'll ask how their summer is going. How are your holidays? How was, spring break, whatever the situation is, I try and when I do that 2-month touch, it's not so much just going directly for, how was your product? Do you have any questions, concerns? You want to buy more shit? I'm like, hey girl, how's your summer going? Oh my gosh, did you ever get your pool put in? Or whatever your previous conversation is. And sometimes if it's through social media or through text message, I'll kind of scroll through conversations just to refresh my memory of what we talked about previously. I love that it talks about emojis. Is this here? Oh, offer information about new products. Oh, I totally skipped over that one. I'm so sorry. This is your opportunity to tell them about anything new or upcoming events. You can tell them and invite them to play bingo. We play bingo every month, and just let them know, would you like to be on my contact list? Our bingo is super fun. You win prizes and it's free to play. So any hostess incentives, gift sets, if you know Father's Day, like it's coming right up, you can definitely reach out to people. We have a Father's Day set that just came into the email that I'm super excited about. I need to see if my fan is on. I'm so burning up. This is going to be a hot summer and it's not even summer yet. Okay, that's Oh my gosh, what a difference. Okay. A hostess tournament in your VIP group. That's something we should probably talk about at a different time, but I think that that's a really great thing to remember is the hostess tournament. Oh, you guys can't see my screen share anymore? Oh, okay.
I can see it. I don't know.
Okay.
No, you're there. You're good.
Okay, I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. When you text and they do not reply, do you check back in another 2 months? I sure do. And then after a little while, it becomes like every.
Took in the strength test.
So Kay, I'm on my phone
Oh yeah.
and it's not sharing the screen on my phone.
So all you see is me.
You have
I
to.
see you. I see Bree.
No, go to scroll over to the left. Go to what's it called?
I don't remember what it's called, but
Found it. Got it.
I was
Got it,
gonna say,
got it,
yeah,
got
you
it,
have
got
to scroll.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so definitely let them know about anything that you have going on. It's really awesome, especially, you know, if the world is starting to open up, you can also let them know, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing weekday virtual parties and they're going to be mini parties. So you don't have to do a full blown, you know, huge presentation. You can talk about 5 or 6 items and you can do it in your VIP group. So you can let them know of that as well and make sure, are they in your VIP group? So think of this connection as your call to action connection. Ask them to take action. Okay. Buy, book, participate, share referrals. So over the years, I probably have several thousand customers. I don't even know how many women I've come in contact with. I do not remove people from my emails, from my text message. Now they can unsubscribe, they can do whatever they need to do, but I don't take them out. So typically, if you have given me your cell phone number, you've granted me permission to contact you. So I will reach back out, Bree, in 2 months. Then maybe after that, like 3 months. When I'm several years into the business, I'll probably touch base with you once every 6 months. Just to, they're for sure going to know about my upcoming sales. Like if I have a big sale, they're going to know about that. I let them almost always know, probably every 3 to 4 months, about a bingo or some big something that's going on. So, you know, I try and touch base with everyone at least twice a year. And that's kind of like my format that I've kind of worked on. Again, if it's 5, 6 years into the business, that's when it starts coming into once every 6 months. And if they don't respond, that's okay. But I've had people come back to me 10 years later or still purchase from me, and I haven't heard from them in several years, and that's totally okay. So here's your touch base template. Refer to the previous discussion, something current on their social media pages or other information. So legit, you guys, I want to tell you, on my Facebook, I have not been having much other than individual groups on my news feed. So I have had to go in and start commenting on people from my friends and checking in with them, sending messages, because all I was seeing was like my Jeep groups that I'm in and like advertisement. So I wasn't seeing anybody's stuff. So a lot of times, like I just copied Brandy's, or I think it was Brandy, somebody that was like, post some pictures. I think Sammy might have done it too, post some pictures. I'd love to see something fun or whatever. So I've had to go back in and do that kind of stuff. So again, when you're touching base, you want to touch over what did you previously talk about? You know, how was your wedding? If you did a bachelorette party, I followed up with the maid of honor. I'm sorry, the mother of the bride, the mother of the bride just joined our team last month. So that's kind of exciting. So just, again, keeping in contact. Yes, so awesome, Brandy. Steal it from whoever. Just make sure if it's a graphic, you're fine. But type your own words above the graphic and don't just post that graphic. I'm really trying to put thought and effort into each time that that's being done, because they now have new software that are scanning pictures for words and things like that. So make sure you're putting text and all that stuff in your posts. And if you're brand new and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, that's okay, we'll get there. You can share info. I typically wouldn't just send someone a message that said, just read this and had to share 700 orgasms in a year increases your lifespan by 8 years. I would probably put that in a graphic and share it, or something of that nature. I probably wouldn't just randomly start sending people that. That'd be kind of random. You're like, oh my gosh, this broad is crazy. So here's your call to action. Last time we talked, you were blah, blah, blah. How's that coming along? Need new refills or ready to try something new? Do you know about my referral program? I have many, many parties over the years from referrals. So don't hesitate to ask for referrals. Don't hesitate to ask them about, let's see, what do you think about getting your friends together in person or getting your favorites for free? So, hey, again, if someone like, if they reach out to you, because if you're posting, I see a lot of you, I've seen Ray, I've seen Bree, who else? Betty was just posting about her chafe escape. So if I see stuff like this, you know what I mean, and you're posting this, I would definitely follow up with people. If someone likes it, comments on it, this is some new stuff that's come out, something new to your business. And just because Pure Romance has had it for 10 years doesn't mean it's not new and something that you can introduce. Okay, they have no clue, or even if it's new to your business, so you can always promote that as something that's new. Is there anything that I may assist you with? Your life may depend upon it. How stupid. I mean, sorry, that's so goofy. I would be real cautious about just randomly sending something about 700 orgasms in a year. So, so once you complete your 222, you're on your way to building relationships and soaring to success. The next step is simple. Continue to say hi and touch base quarterly, about every 3 months. So that's about what it would be. It would shift to every 3 to 4 months, again, depending upon what's in your life. There's been 4 or 5 months that's gone by that I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way. When this, like when they went back to school, my follow-up went to shit. I had no idea what was going on, which way was up, who was what, like legit. In 2 more days, I get to take back over my office. So reach out. You could be having a, you know, what is it? No more virtual school parties. You could have a bad moms party. That theme of the bad moms was super fun. And the girls can, or you can have like an after quarantine party where people come in and just their sweats and their yoga pants or whatever, and they're just chilling. No, people don't have to get dressed up, or you can have a roaring 20s party. So there's lots of fun stuff that's coming up. So, you know, we can put together some themes as well that can be done for the roaring 20s. I'm sure Pure Romance has something on their Pinterest page, because they have lots of really bomb stuff on their Pinterest. So when you're ready to implement this, we're going to take a quick little pause. And does anybody have any questions on what we've chatted about so far? I feel like we went super quick and there was a lot to cover. Welcome, Jackie. What are you most excited about right now?
I am most excited about trying to figure out how I'm going to have my next party and it be virtual. And I've never done it in my life. And I just had my first party, and yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good times.
I'm like, okay. So
but your
I can't even worry about
bomb. So
what?
That's what I said. Your first party was bomb. You did amazing. I might have even asked one of your party guests how well you did, because I know some of your friends.
Oh, yes, yes. I
So
was
they
told
said
I
he
found
did
my
amazing.
permanent, I was told I found my permanent um, job calling.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
And
just
friends
fun.
don't lie, so listen to them, okay? No, but
I'm
virtual
trying.
parties, I feel like we have quite a few new girls coming in. So I think I just had my girlfriend Mandy, she has started doing a new format of virtual parties. So something, if Bree, if you have some time and you'd like to take a peek, maybe we can go over and I can show you and you can give me some thoughts on how we could incorporate that in, or, you know, she just launched it like this week. So I was like, okay, let me kind of see if this is something that I want to tiptoe into and if it's going to be simplified compared to what we had when we first started. I feel like was so much. And she's like, ooh, she's trying to simplify it. So if you have time next week, I think that's something we can maybe take.
Yeah, we'll set up time.
Okay.
And also, I've realized if anybody's still using the Lucy's, please be careful. I started getting flagged.
Yeah.
So just
don't use any of those same graphics.
Well,
and
I
the
don't.
verbiage.
It's the verbiage. Some of those
Oh, yeah.
verbiages, it's because Facebook, like you mentioned, has started to like really get down on us. So just yeah.
Yeah, the verbiage is starting to, because it was put out publicly and so many excuse me, so many consultants have access to it. I feel like it's very redundant and we could freshen it up a little bit. So something to work on. I'm gonna have much more time.
I've actually had them remove things from my Facebook page because of verbiage.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of consultants that have started different avenues of, you know, promoting their business as well. I still think Facebook is by far one of the best formats just because you can connect with so many people. It really, who knows? But feel free, you can also advertise and post on other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And if you're into all that stuff, that's not my jam. But okay, so we are going to talk about creating a system. Okay, so creating a system. Whoops, this one. Okay, you want to keep it simple. The more and more connections that you make, it's going to start to get a little overwhelming how to track that information. So depending upon what you want to do, you can do expandable files, you can do manila folders, decide if you prefer paper or digital, and determine your needed supplies. So you can 100% take this business to paperless. If that's something that you're looking to do, there are, is that coming up? Nope. Okay, so there is virtual to-do list app, like, ooh, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna post it in the chat. And you guys are welcome to take a peek at what they are. Just don't go down a rabbit hole and spend the rest of the meeting in there. But Todoist or Microsoft To Do, formerly Wunderlist. And if you're a paper person, manila folders and a 12-month expandable file works. I actually don't do that. I have giant binders and I hole punch mine and put them in binders. Since that's what I did before I started using programs to help with follow-up, but I still keep a paper copy of every single order that I take, just in case, knock on wood, the IRS comes knocking at my door. I keep a paper copy of everything. That's just me. But if you don't have the space for that, you can definitely look into those programs as well. And Pure Romance has bless you, a
Bless
database
you.
in the system for you to store all your customer information and everything that would be a piece of paper that I use as well. So when you do this, you want to set aside time to start working on this, and having the system sooner rather than later is amazing. Now, if you've received online orders, you do not have to track that stuff. But for follow-up, it is nice to have something where you can go back to them and say, hey, checking in, seeing how you're doing, how's it going, so forth and so on. And again, I just use a 3-ring binder because it's easy for me to take it. When I used to go and work in the backyard, when Taylor would play in the backyard, that's what I would do. I would take my folder and I would sit in the backyard and I would send text messages. And then I'd go play with him for a little while, whatever. So that's what I did. Immediately after you make the initial contact, does this talk about this? I swear when I do these trainings, I feel like it doesn't. Well, that's dumb. Okay. Immediately after the initial contact or purchase, place the connection card or form in your 2-day folder. So if you're using something like that, I actually do have, they're like plastic trays. And then when I first get my orders, I put them inside of a plastic tray to hold them. I don't know what system Bree uses. She's probably a little more organized than me, but this is just what I've done my whole life. So they go into one spot. Once I fulfill the order, they go to another spot, and then they sit there until they get inputted into my taxes. So it's becoming a more streamlined process, which is super cool. So I'm doing it all at once. But you know, that's, again, tax prep is a different conversation, which we should have very, very soon. But again, you'll take it from that 2-day folder to your 2-week folder to your 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. And that's something as well that you can just get a 3-ring binder, and you can put January, February, March, April, May. That's what I do. And I just put them inside that, and it's a 3-ring binder. It's not the accordion file. So it just works so much easier for me in those little 3-ring binders. There we go. So you can definitely reach out. Again, I don't know. I personally don't know if I would send that. 700 orgasms in a year increases your lifespan by 8 years. I know that's something that Denise could totally send to her friends, because they would be like, oh yes, Denise, we got you. But again, that is what you want to do in taking action. So let's celebrate. We're not going to be doing celebration just yet. I don't want to give away any numbers about what happened in May, because I think there's some really bomb ass things that have happened in May, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Consultant action plan. Don't forget that we have this available in our, don't know where it went. Consultant action plan is the training.pureromance.com, which talks about the product of the week. Live, Love, Win was just this past Monday. Pure Business, I believe the name of that has been changed to something else. Rise and Grind happens every 6, 7, 8, or 9 o'clock, depending upon your time zone. And Tony still posts those every day. I have not watched this week. I'm normally good for 1 or 2 a week. So it looks like Thursday and Friday are going to be my days. And then the Pure Romance Consultant Training. I know Bree and I were just chatting about that. I was like, yo, girl, check out the YouTube. YouTube has every training you could ever, you could probably like build a car from the ground up on YouTube. It's so insane. And then the Social Selling Roadmap to Success Facebook group. So lots of great resources. Oh shoot, there's a team challenge. What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, it is saying to create your system. You guys, the sooner you start doing that system, it's going to be so much easier on your life. I can tell you, whether it is if you take an order by paper and you put it in the system manually. I know Bree taught me, we were in there on the COO a little bit ago, and she's like, look at all this. And I was like, oh Oh my gosh, the system does everything for you. So it's so crazy. And I love that she showed me that. She's like, this is where it's at. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So please, please, please start creating a system. Get some type of a semblance where you do your party. And I know Jackie was working on getting stuff into the system. Keep in mind that if you guys are going to be shipping orders direct to your customers and they're brand new, don't put them in the system first because it automatically populates. If you have to ship something to a customer, just ship it and that order populates, whether it's in a party link or whatever. You don't have to input it twice, which I love. If and I just had someone message me now and she's like, can I order 2 of these things, blah, blah, blah. I don't have it in stock. I'm just going to pull it up and I'm going to process it directly with her credit card payment and then just get my 40% next week. I'm not going to place a big old order. I'm not going to do this big old ordeal, but that's something that we can definitely do and just have stuff shipped direct to customers, which is it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. Dun, dun, dun.